For over 50 years, the Assad family shaped Syria's history with an iron grip. From Hafez al-Assad's calculated rise to power to Bashar al-Assad's controversial and turbulent reign, their rule defined not only the nation's politics but its fate. But now that chapter has come to an end. What caused the fall of this dynasty, and what does it mean for Syria's future? In the early 20th century, the Assad family were relatively obscure members of the Alawite community in Latakia, a coastal region of Syria. But Hafez al-Assad's ambition and strategic acumen changed their fortunes forever. Hafez staged a bloodless coup in 1970 and became Syria's president, ushering in an era of centralized power, cult-like leadership, and regional influence. He secured his position by suppressing dissent, building alliances with the Soviet Union, and leveraging Syria's strategic location in the Middle East. While Hafez's rule was authoritarian, he maintained stability in a region riddled with coups and invasions. His policies shaped modern Syria for better or worse. However, this stability came at the cost of freedoms. The infamous Hama massacre in 1982, where thousands of civilians were killed during an uprising, exemplifies the brutal methods Hafez used to maintain control. When Hafez al-Assad died in 2000, his son Bashar, a trained ophthalmologist with little political experience, was thrust into power. Initially, there was hope for reform. Bashar spoke of modernization, digitalization, and improving Syria's economy. But the promise of change quickly gave way to the same authoritarian practices. The state remained tightly controlled, dissent was crushed, and corruption flourished. The cracks in the regime's foundation began to show. Bashar's inability to manage Syria's growing socio-economic problems set the stage for the uprising in 2011. What could have been a peaceful demand for reform turned into a brutal civil war. The Arab Spring swept across the Middle East in 2011. And Syria was no exception. Peaceful protests erupted, calling for democratic reforms and greater freedoms. But Bashar al-Assad's government responded with violence, igniting a civil war that would devastate the nation for over a decade. The war became a proxy battlefield for global powers. Russia and Iran backed Assad, while the US, Turkey, and Gulf states supported various opposition groups. Meanwhile, extremist organizations like ISIS exploited the chaos to seize territory, further complicating the conflict. Without Russian airstrikes and Iranian ground forces, Assad's regime would have likely fallen in the early years of the war. But this support came at a price. Syria became heavily indebted to these allies, both economically and politically, leaving the Assad regime more isolated than ever. In recent years, the Assad regime's hold on power weakened significantly. The Syrian economy collapsed under the weight of sanctions, corruption, and the destruction caused by war. Public services crumbled and everyday Syrians struggled to survive. Frustration boiled over in late 2024 as protests reignited across Syria. This time they were fueled not just by political oppression but also by economic despair. Even within Assad's loyalist base, cracks began to form. When key members of the military and political elite began defecting or voicing dissent, it became clear that Assad's time was up. What followed was a dramatic but peaceful transition as international mediators brokered a deal to avoid further bloodshed. The end of Assad's rule is not the end of Syria's struggles. The country faces monumental challenges, from rebuilding its infrastructure to reintegrating millions of refugees and displaced persons. A critical question remains: who will lead Syria now? Will it be a coalition government representing all factions, or will another strongman rise to fill the vacuum? And how will international powers influence this transition? Despite the uncertainty, there is hope. Syria's people have endured unimaginable hardship, yet their resilience is unmatched. If the international community provides meaningful support, Syria could finally embark on a path toward peace and prosperity. The fall of the Assad family marks a pivotal moment in Syria's history. The road ahead is long and fraught with challenges, but it is also filled with possibilities. Will Syria rise from the ashes, or will old divisions create new struggles? Only time will tell. What is your take on the end of Assad's rule? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more stories about the events shaping our world. Thanks for watching. See you next time.